the brand new hip-hop. It's the new style, it's socks and flip-flops. Singles on glass like a second-hand Cyclops. Decorate your heels with the hashtag high top. I rock a party with the flavor of the old school. Nah, I'm enrolled in my own school. Calibrate the needle, let the wax spin. Accelerate the beat in your heart and let's begin. Emancipate yourself, find the way in. Throw down your crutches like you was Tiny Tim. Step back while I back flips with the flapjack in my lip. Quick knock knock. When I was a kid watching the Knicks with the nickel sack in my short sock and in my lap sack and in my backpack. I rode a backwood behind a bar, but now it's after dark. Do you know where your kids are? That was then, and this is now. And that was who, what, where, and when, but this is how. That was then, but this is now. And that was who, what, where, and when, but this is how. I stack records like pancakes. Syrup on the snare, butter on the brakes. Feed my fans like cattle, keep fattening them. Vinyl, silver, gold, and platinum. Every day, my every aim, same. Tighten the titanium in everybody's game. Play my enemies like Damon Carla. Drop it in the hole from the back of the Impala. Empire City, keep it hot like masala. Fall so hard you can call me, never mind. Drop hits on the mic like Hicks in the dojo. Mofos, mafiosos that don't know mediocrity. Everything they do is so. Try me, I know so. They pay me to flow so, bro. If I may say so. So that was then, and this is now. But that was who, what, where, and when. But this is how. That was then, but this is now. And that was who, what, where, and when. But this is how. This is how. Every day's a struggle for every muggle in every way. Okay. I get it, you coined it. You're disappointed, your dreams disappearing all the time. Is it love or is it fearing? But you're a goonie and it's our time down here. Your time is nearing, but it's our time down here. That was then, but this is now. And if you don't know, well, let me show you how. Melly Mel, he kept from going under. But sometimes like Stevie, man, it makes me wonder if the jungle isn't really just a sandbox. A castle, a story, a bubble, or a mailbox. And if it is, will you write someone a letter? Draw a picture or apologize, whatever. Use stickers and a glitter pen to make everything better. Thank your grandma and your grandpa for sending you that sweater. Hey, you may need to check the weather. It's cold out there. Take it from someone who knows. That was then, and when was that? But it never mattered who, it never mattered what. That was then, but this is now. That was who, what, where, and when, but this is how. That was then, but this is now. That was who, what, where, and when, but this is how. That was then, but this is now. That was who, what, where, and when, but this is how. This is how.
the ground. I'm invincible. 10 feet up, never coming down. High on love. You can be my one and only, baby. Don't wanna be lonely no more. You can be my one and only, baby. 'Cause lately I've been losing control. For the first time, maybe never felt this before. Am I going crazy? Ooh, I'm learning how to fall in love. Ooh, I'm learning how to fall in love. 10 feet up, floating off the ground. I'm invincible. 10 feet up, never coming down. High on love. You can be my one and only, baby. Don't wanna be lonely no more. You can be my one and only, baby. 'Cause lately I've been losing control. For the first time, baby, never felt this before. Am I going crazy? Ooh, I'm learning how to fall in love. Ooh, I'm learning how to fall in love.
He did the monster
The
mash.
Monster Mash.
It was a graveyard
He did the
smash.
mash.
It caught on in a
The
flash.
Monster Mash.
He did the monster mash.
Where'd you find that?
You did the
footage?
well. What do you mean? Where?
Where's that?
From
It's
the
in the
studio.
well, to the archives.
Are you trying to-
I thought we deleted.
Do you
that.
know when you do something on social
Yeah,
media?
it's there forever.
It's there forever.
That's
So
from what, 2022?
Yeah,
A
back.
long
Were you
time
about to say a
ago.
long time
21.
ago?
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
What are you, your grandfather
My
talking about the old
grandfather
days?
looked like I
2
shed
years
an
ago.
entire human.
Yeah.
From that being to where I'm at now.
The Monster Mash. Yes, it is that time of the year.
It is, and we're gonna recreate that at some point.
maybe without you, Kinsman.
Oh,
Now that I've seen the highlights.
well, seeing that,
Yeah.
I need to, you know,
Yeah.
up the bar and better the performance.
Please,
Yeah.
please. But okay, so before we get things moving and shaking, the first thing we wanted to chat about is a big thank you to everyone who came out to our 9th Feed a Family event on Friday.
Yes.
Tremendous.
At
Yes.
Johnson's, your independent grocer. Again, shout out to Timmins Hyundai, Matheson Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Yeah.
And of course, Sebastian Vermette Insurance and Financial Limited, who provided the tent. We needed it. On Friday,
needed
it started to rain. We had the people trying to pull the power on us, but we succeeded in the 4-hour haul there. Pulled in multiple thousands, and again, we helped out over 120 some odd people.
Yes.
families.
It was a big deal. So a lot of messages from community members. We just want to say if you donated, if you shared a video, shared a picture, commented, it all made an impact, and that's a big difference.
It all added up.
It all added
certainly
up.
did.
It made a big difference to a lot of people, so we wanted to say thank you for that.
Yes.
Number 2, Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was amazing. We had the feast at home, and as they say, no hiccups. Everything went well. We had turkey, we had the stuffing, pumpkin pie. Everybody
But you
left,
know the question
everybody
I
left
have.
fed.
When we last spoke, you weren't allowed anywhere near the kitchen, so did you get a little grace?
I was able to do the peeling of the potatoes.
Yes, you graduated.
And that was about it. And I
So-
carved the turkey. That was my
You
that was
carved
my that was
the
my
turkey.
my
Right.
duties. Yeah.
So after you carved the turkey, everyone ordered pizza.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I
everybody
guarantee.
enjoyed it. No, it was it's one of those butter balls. They're pretty.
And did
Pretty
you
easy
do
to
any
do.
cleanup after?
Yes,
I bet you
yes.
0%.
Well, here's the funny part. We went to the good old plastic plates.
Yeah.
and said, you know what, it's let's just toss everything afterwards. So that's what we did.
Yeah, you treat your guests with luxury, eh? They come over and you break out.
We're not formal over there.
No.
No.
You put pants on then?
Yeah,
Great.
we did.
That's a loose Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we did. No, we used real cutlery. We just eased it up on the dishes.
You can't use a real knife on a paper plate.
Sure you
It cuts
can.
right through the
well,
plate.
wait, I got the good quality, high quality ones. You could microwave and use sharp tools on them.
All right. Well, it sounds like you had
But
a great...
it was good. No, how was
great-
yours? Good.
Excellent. You know, there are a lot of turkey and a lot of wine.
Saw a picture of an upside down apple pie. What happened to that?
Yes, well, this is my... So I'm fully involved in the kitchen, but I did make a boo-boo there, Kinsman. So the apple pie, this was after the second bottle of wine, okay? So forgive me. But I took the tin foil...
You can't blame it on the drinking now.
I can blame everything. I think I got 5 kids. Settle down. I took the tin foil out and I just put the pie in the oven. That's a no-no because it all dropped down.
Uh-oh.
And Ronnie was over for supper and he called it apple crumble.
And he was the one who posted it. That's
Yeah,
how
he
I saw
did.
it. If it wasn't for Ronnie, no one would have known that blunder existed.
So we hope everyone had an amazing Thanksgiving, but I'm excited tonight. We have such a spectacular guest.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Exciting to kick off a Tuesday.
Yes.
Studio 67 in downtown Timmins. And again, you might remember her from the Christopher's Coffee House days.
Oh.
But, if you go way, way back, she is, holds one of the big milestones in the country, I'm going to say in all the world. She's one of the first, helicopter pilots in Canada. And again,
Are you going to say a name?
Yes, Ellen Pauli.
Yeah,
is
there
joining
we
us.
go.
Studio
I was waiting.
67.
Well, I was waiting for the name to come out there. Well, but
I was trying to keep it nice and dramatic.
You did a good job. Yeah.
Well, it's not too often we get, this is a
Superstar.
pretty high on the totem pole superstar here
Oh, thank you.
when it comes to aviation and women in aviation.
Yes.
Yeah, proud to have you here,
Well,
Mary Ellen.
because you mentioned it, and this is a little off topic, do we ever miss Christopher's? What a beautiful place. There was a hole downtown once Christopher's closed, but we appreciated the time it was here. And I just found out that was your place.
That was your brainchild.
Can you bring it back tomorrow, please?
You're going to make me cry.
It was such a beautiful place. And so congratulations on the success of Christopher's.
Thank you.
There we go. Maybe we'll have a legacy like that one day, Kinsman.
Possibly,
Yeah.
possibly.
But they won't. If I worked at Christopher's, they wouldn't let me touch the
No, they wouldn't let you
desserts.
touch anything. Now, I used to brag that one of the best white mochas ever was made by this young lady right here, Mary Ellen Pauli.
Thank you.
So
Glad
let's.
be pleased.
There's just so much to chat about, and you really are a trailblazer. And I was, telling Mary Ellen, I would like a week to pick her brain. But when did the love for aviation or flying start for you?
Well, I was very young. Our family lived in Matagami, Quebec, and we were on the edge of a hill where there was a seaplane base below. And my dad and my brother and my brother-in-law all worked there. So every day I could stand on that hill and watch airplanes land and take off all the time, and I loved it. I still do that sound of an airplane taking off on the water. There's nothing like it.
Mm-hmm. And this sort of like kick-started your passion for flying.
Yes.
When you were a young girl, were you thinking like flying anything? Was it the helicopters? Was it the planes? Was it anything in the sky that you're
Just flying in
Well,
general.
Yeah.
I didn't know helicopters existed at that point. We certainly didn't have any in Matagami at the time. But, and watching what happened down at the seaplane base, I was concerned that I would even be able to do that job because it's very physically demanding. You're rolling 45-gallon drums from the dock up into the aircraft, and it's very physical. Mm-hmm. So I was quite perturbed about that fact, thinking this is what I want to do, but I can't do it. I wasn't really even aware of commercial flying, like passenger airplanes and that sort of thing. We were a very small community in Matagami. So it wasn't until, as you see later on in the book, that a helicopter company came to our community, and I applied. They were looking for a secretary, and I applied there. And I ended up with the position, and it was watching the helicopters coming in and out, and it was like, that's what I want to do.
That's what you want to do, right?
Yeah, and because most of the heavy loads in a helicopter are on a sling load and they're attached from the bottom, I'm thinking, well, this is it. I'm never going to have to do any heavy lifting. It turned out I was very wrong about all that, but that's what got me going towards helicopters.
Wow, pretty exciting stuff. And again, you know, being in a, you know, they say it's a male-dominated field, you know, wasn't too often seeing, you know, ladies, you know, getting to the top of the resume pile. So when you finally cracked that position of the admin, how did you work your steps into the cockpit of the helicopter?
Well, it was difficult even for me to be accepted into the school. There was a bit of wrangling happening there. And once I did finish the license to find a job, I had applied at quite a few places, and there's just no way. The main amount of work was in the northern part of Quebec on the James Bay Hydroelectrical project, and it was considered bush work, and they were like, there's no way we wouldn't be able to put you up there in the bush and bush camps. And so, but where I did take my lessons, they needed a helicopter pilot for the summer to do helicopter rides. They call them pad rides, because all the guys had been hired to go north and do the work up there. So the manager at that base convinced the owner of the company to hire me for the summer, just because there was no one else to do the work.
Isn't it?
That's amazing.
It's sad, it's crazy, it's a whole bunch of emotions. You know, in a perfect world, we hire the best people for the job. And in my years of human resources, which ended 5 years ago, I still seen some of the stereotypes, especially when it comes to pay equity. It's still very much a reality in the world. So this must have been, you know, when you're trying to break into career, something you're passionate about, not just growing in a career, which is difficult enough, you had to leap all these stereotypes that were out there because a woman can't do a man's job, which is ridiculous. But it's still, let's not fool ourselves. This exists.
It still exists today?
Everywhere.
Yep,
What
absolutely.
was there a point where you felt that's enough, you know, I'm going to go on to something else, or are you just strong and determined?
No, I was very determined,
Yeah.
and I just took every hit and moved ahead. And you know, at one point, when you've invested so much and you there just isn't anything else you want to do or you think you even could do. So no, I just moved ahead and, you know, kept at it, kept going. And I mean, there were times I was in a camp where there were 600 men, and we might have been a couple of women, and you know, those gals would have been working in the kitchen. So I'm working on that James Bay Hydro project. There were many times I was in a camp where I was the only woman.
And growing and persevering through it. I mean, so many tremendous accomplishments. We could probably be here to midnight talking about all your accomplishments,
certainly
but
could.
Yeah,
and we
that's
do
all
want to
we're
chat
here
about
for.
the book.
Yeah.
But at any point, like now, it's very easy to see you're a role model for women. I call entrepreneurs. Period. Of course, in aviation, obviously, but anyone that's faced any sort of discrimination, growing in the career they want to grow in or their passions, you're obviously, like, to me, a role model, and I'm sure to many. Has that set in? Because to me, like, that's a big undertaking and a compliment. Has you ever given that a lot of thought?
No, actually, not really. I'm not one to put myself out there.
Yeah.
So if anyone were to come to me, obviously, I'd be there 100% to help them out. But I haven't seen a lot of interest in the North, because there aren't a lot of women that we see flying every day. And for myself, when I flew, I was up north. Even my friends and family rarely saw me at work, because it would be away from Timmins, you know, in the bush where you don't see any other aircraft around other than the helicopter that you're flying. So, yeah, it still is a challenge. There are only 5% women in aviation internationally, which is incredible that it's just at those numbers. And, you know, through my career, you think you've reached that mark where you have the experience and you have the respect and you have the, and you run into it again.
You still get looked down upon, and
or something
people
happens
snubbing you,
that's
saying,
very-
why are you here, as opposed to, you know, their buddy.
I had someone at the M&R say, I refuse to get in that aircraft. That's a woman. It happened a couple of times, and, you know,
What'd you say? Well, get out and walk. It's a long hike.
Yeah.
So it still happens, I'm sure.
Oh, it does. You know, when we look at TV series from the 50s where the man's at work and the woman is home cleaning, and a lot of people comment, you know, oh, you know, it used to be like that. No, it's in a lot of the ways it's still like that, and especially pay equity and respect in the workplace, and it should be the best person for the job. I don't know. I don't know if I would have persevered. I probably would have just quit there, Kinsman.
Would you have quit?
No. You
Gotta grab the bull by the horns
you
and
put me through the-
hop in the chopper seat and
You put me
take
through
flight.
the test of time, and I'm still here.
That's it. Moving on 4 years.
yes.
You haven't left yet.
I haven't left yet. You're only making me. You're doing it for my own goodwill. But this is really interesting. So, at what point? I mean, we're leaping ahead, and I said we could probably talk for hours here.
Yeah,
but this must be a major accolade to have a story that, you know, you're the inspiration around. Like, how did this all come together?
So I was interviewed by Jimmy Chabot from Radio Canada. It was a couple of years ago, and it was around the time of Women's Day in March. And he came to my house, and we spoke, and I showed him a lot of my memorabilia, and you know, I have a library that is basically all aviation, and he was really taken by it, and he came back about a week later with a couple of pages, like test pages, for a children's book. And he didn't tell me until he got there and showed me, and I was just shocked, because a couple of the drawings, I had a picture of myself exactly like that, like my bunk bed, and the same colors and the colors on the wall. It was that kind of connection that I thought, I need to do this with this gentleman, you know what I mean? Because he obviously, we had some sort of connection. And I had been looking for a way that I could inspire, contribute towards that path with women internationally would be great, across the country, the province, in my community. And I was really struggling with that. So this was it. This was going to be, this was great. Yes, I'm on board. 100%.
And Jimmy's awesome. Anybody who doesn't know Jimmy Chabot, when you're walking down 3rd Ave, he's just down the street from us.
Yeah, he's
you know,
great.
he's I do believe he's the sole body in you know, the French CBC building. You always see him in there. You give him a wave. He'll come out and chat with you.
Oh, he's
I
the
know
best,
all my years of radio here in this city, and of course now with KINZ and KLOMP, it's you know, just a great guy, all around guy, and you know, talking to us English folk there, he's been a great partner of ours and a good supporter of ours.
Yeah, we love Jimmy, and he does tremendous work. I mean, and you're going to get an opportunity to take a look at the book. They have a big celebration coming
Yes,
up.
they do, on Saturday.
On the Saturday at the library. So what is happening here? This is like a book launch party?
Yes,
Yeah.
so it is the book launch at the Timmins Public Library. We will have a launch especially for English and especially for French. The French launch will be at 10:30 in the morning with a reading of the French book. This one's not French, but...
Oh, here we go.
then-
Okay, here, we'll swap you here.
Here we go. Here's the French book.
There's the Francais version.
And then there will be another reading done with the English book in the afternoon. And we have some giveaways, a little signature cards. On the back of the signature card is a QR code, which will take you to a video that was put together by Jimmy and
Which is also incredible.
Yes,
we have a chance to check that video out. It is phenomenal, Jimmy. Jimmy, if you're out there watching, A+ work there,
Yeah.
A1.
Absolutely. And we have some cute little stickers with a little Mary Ellen for you future aviators out there.
Which is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It is tremendous, but I'm sort of like, I get where you're coming from, because you obviously seem, you know, very modest and humble, we can all take a lesson from Mary Ellen's page
we
there.
certainly can.
But,
I
but
think
at the
anybody
same
can.
time, when someone approaches you for an amazing book, but the fact that you can talk to women out there and you can inspire women of all ages, at some point you got to put that humbleness aside, because both tell your story a little bit because it could help others. To me, that would be like the balancing act.
Yes, I guess you would have to come across someone who's actually interested. I've kind of found, because my work was very singular, I would come home from being up doing polar bears and come into the cottage area where we are, and all the friends are around the fire, and it's a difficult story to tell and for them to understand what you've just been through for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So it's to find those people that are interested in aviation, which is a very different field, and most people don't know much about. But if I ever had that opportunity to, give someone a hand in taking that path, or just letting them know what it's all about, I definitely would. But yeah, I don't want to stand on the corner and yell the.
No.
But I think the book goes a long way.
Yes.
And it brings a sense of comfort, and it's beautiful. And you're going to get a chance to see it at the library on Saturday. It's really popping. Like Jimmy did such an amazing job.
Amazing job.
This question keeps coming up from Paul. We get it, Ronnie. So Paul's asking, my cousin Hannah Charette. Is that a name you're familiar with?
No, I'm not.
Flies helicopters in BC for the
forest.
forest and fire management. Does
Great.
Mary know her?
No, I'm afraid not. How old is she?
How old is she? But it sounds like another woman kicking some butt in aviation.
Yes, that's great to hear. There are obviously more now. I mean, we're talking back in 1979 when I first started. So, though the Ministry of Natural Resources has not replaced my departure with another female helicopter pilot. So, there are the odd ones. She's way over in BC. There are a few in Ontario that have acquired a license, I think, in the past couple of years. Some of the gals that I know would be women that flew back in my time or shortly after myself.
But there are more women now in aviation, probably due to the likes of yourself, Mary Ellen, because you keep track. You were talking about, was it a Porter Airline pilot that you're still good friends with, and a good tie with all the other female aviators across the world?
Absolutely. The Northern Lights Aero Foundation recognizes women in aerospace and aviation, and I have been lucky enough to be one of those recipients of the award. They have a gala every year to recognize more women, and it's absolutely incredible. If anyone has a chance to look up their website and have a look at the great women in aviation, for sure.
And maybe Paul Charette's was a cousin. He just posted in her 20s, so another young aviator on her way.
That's good.
I'd love to have friends in their 20s.
I'd like to be in my 20s. Yes. But I have to think, like, when you mention the number 5%, and some could argue, which I don't argue, but they can argue it's only 5% because women aren't interested in aviation. And I call, what's one of your G words? Bull malarkey?
Or bull malarkey, or maybe
Bulldog.
the two-word, the bulldog.
Okay, Kinsman, I call bullshit on it. That's how passionate, because, as you can obviously attest to, women who are chasing a typical, I'm using in quote because I don't believe it, a male-orientated field, and I've seen this because I've worked in industry, they face about 20 times more roadblocks than men. And it's ridiculous. And then this is why a lot don't pursue it after or quit immediately. Like, men wouldn't understand this. And I only got a small sample of it because I've seen in human resources. I don't have the full sample size because I never had to go through that. But I would think that number, if those barriers didn't exist, it would be close to 50-50 in my mind.
Well, you would think it would start. It has been 5% for a very long time, and it's shocking that it is only that. That's internationally. Like airlines, like Porter Airlines, has really come a long way in hiring women, having equity. Their chief pilot is a female now, so that that's all great news. But I think it's when you're in high school and you're looking for what you're going to do for a living. Airline pilot or pilot is just not one of them that they come up with, right? I mean, there are few places that you can go to school to become a pilot as well. There are few places that you can actually see people at work, especially women. Because when pilots are flying, they're in the air, they're not. And if you're on an airplane, you don't necessarily see who's in the cockpit. So it's not like you have an opportunity to see a woman flying and you go, that's what I want to do. They just aren't visible. The job isn't visible, period. So that might be part of the problem, I think.
Highly more visible, and again, when people pick up your book on Saturday, they'll be able to put a face to the young aviator, back in '79 when you got your leap, and the courage to say, you know what, let's do this.
I think your story is just absolutely
incredible.
Tremendous. And once again, yes, of course, a role model to women in aviation, but to me, women everywhere. And the unsung heroes. Not all heroes wear capes, right?
No.
Mark does all the cliches.
They fly helicopters.
They fly helicopters. How big was the learning curve keeping up with technology changes as your career was growing?
Well, there's training. There's a lot of training when you're a pilot. You're from the medical that you do once a year, and once you're over 40, it's twice a year, and there is training every year. We train twice a year, right, almost as if you were taking your license all over again. And you also do a Ministry of Transport ride, so you are tested once a year as well. So it's continual. It really is. It's through my time as a pilot, I did change and upgrade aircraft, and we were absolutely trained. The training is spectacular at the Ministry of Natural Resources, and so we're actually always excited to have some new piece of equipment that's going to make our job easier or more fun.
Well, seeing some of the pics in the M&R, some of those flashy, newer technology helicopters must have been fun to fly.
Yes, EC-130, absolutely.
Pretty fast.
More power and,
fast
you know what I mean?
Aircraft.
Yeah. I love it. All right there, Kinsman. So, oh God, this is, okay, so let's keep the show going to 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning, we're going to be chatting with Ellen
I
Pauli.
I have a million story, but once again,
one of the first Canadian female aviators to take seat inside a cockpit of a helicopter. Absolutely amazing. And your polar bear story, it just blows us away. You said you had a tie with a Nukshuk who just passed away up at the polar bear habitat. What was the tie into the polar bears up there?
Yeah, so I got a phone call, and it was like I had to go north to go and pick up a couple of polar bears that had been baby polar bears who had been orphaned, and so it was January, February, I think. So it's definitely minus 35 or 40 there. It's quite a ways up to Pewanik. And I had to, stop at a few places to get fuel. In Attawapiskat, the fuel was just like gel. It took me forever to refuel it. I had to go to the veterinarian here in town and try and find a cage strong enough and big enough to fit a couple of polar bears. We got up there, and I had to put these babies from a knapsack into, and I'll tell you, they're pretty vicious.
I bet.
Things. And unfortunately, they weren't very happy about the ride back. But when we got into Timmins, there was Air Canada came in. There was a biologist from the Toronto Zoo there to pick them up. They're adorable to see in a cage. But anyway, so that was in March. I took my children, Cameron and Audrey, to the Toronto Zoo. I said to them, it's really important. I want to see them now and their size, because I was heading back up to James Hudson's Bay to do some polar bear collaring and tagging. And I wanted to see the difference of the size of those bears that were in captivity and being fed well compared to the cubs of the same age up on the coastline. And it was a huge difference. So from there, those cubs, they stayed there for a number of years. They came back to Cochrane, to the zoo there, and had been there for 18 years. I think they were 18 years older.
What
And
yeah.
unfortunately
What an
passed away.
incredible
Yeah,
story.
no kidding. And Joanne
no,
says,
Chuck just
"Oh,
passed,
lucky
this
you,"
year.
Yeah. Oh, just an amazing,
Phenomenal story.
amazing life so far, and tons more to go.
It is.
If we can all have these amazing accomplishments, and you have a chance to chat with Mary Ellen
On Saturday.
Yeah, for the book release party, and we didn't even touch on the fact that just creating or releasing a book is a major accomplishment itself. So, congratulations to
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
to Mary Ellen. That's like something to be celebrated on its own, and you'll be able to celebrate with them at the library.
The Timmins Public Library
In
on
both
Saturday.
languages.
Yes, 10:30 a.m. on Saturday morning for the Francais edition, so in French, and then at 2 o'clock for the English for the helicopter pilot in the making.
Did you have to say the Francais was the French? You didn't think people picked that up?
No, they would not pick. Well,
They didn't?
How good I speak French, I can
Fair
mess
enough.
that up.
Was there anything else that you'd like to touch on that we haven't had an opportunity to do so?
Just that any of the proceeds that I will, reap from the sale of this book are going to the Northern Lights Aero Foundation for scholarships for women in aviation. It's my opportunity to give back.
Oh, isn't that great?
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Congratulations again, having a superstar pilot right here. Studio 67.
See, Kinsman,
Mary Ellen Pauli.
we don't have to keep 100% of the proceeds like you like to.
Oh, come on.
We can give back now.
100% of the proceeds. When you see that, a portion of the proceeds.
Yeah, no, we're on the same page as you.
Yeah, we are.
We like giving back, and we respect that. And that deserves a
Yes.
big-time fist pound.
Pounds.
Congratulations, and congratulations to Jimmy. And what's that say? Let me know how. What's that say there? Oh, let me know how it goes, Joanne. So we're having some inner chat
Within the
group.
thread.
But we hope to see you folks at the library on the weekend.
For the big book launch.
Yeah.
And again, Jimmy Chabot, if you're out there watching, we salute you. Great job.
Yeah,
and again,
of course.
Jim Chab. I love his
Jim Chab, yeah.
Jim Chab at the back, and even at the back of the book, there's a little article on a write-up on both Mary Ellen Pauli and, of course, Jimmy.
No kidding.
Bit of insight to both there.
Tremendous. Okay, so when we come back, we give away 2 Rock and Bowl passes
Yes,
for
we're going
Midtown
to
Bowl.
Midtown Bowl.
So we're
That's it.
going to get Ronnie to load up the sponsor reel.
And Mary Ellen Pauli's going to go fire up her chopper. It's parked out front here on 3rd.
You didn't know Arnold's voice. I thought you were going to do it.
She'll be back. Do you have your
No,
aviators?
take me to the chopper.
Yeah, take me to your chopper.
Come on, you blew it, Kinsman.
Oh,
Okay,
jeez.
when we come back.
When we come back after this.
Winners of Boost Your Business this week, Moon's Exotic Pets and Supplies. Located 38 Pine Street North, Unit 111 in the basement of the 101 Mall. And look at that, 30% off store-wide savings for Halloween deals till October 31st. Traveling soon? Then meet Northern Ontario's newest insurance broker, Roxanne Crawford. For home, commercial, farm, small business, travel, and more, call Roxanne today, 705-262-0415. Scan the QR code for a chance to win a $150 Amazon gift card. And on the big screen this week at Imagine Cinemas, Smile 2, Terrifier 3, and The Wild Robot. For tickets and showtimes, you can log on to ImagineCinemas.com. For the best in photography, you go to Marc DeRoche Photography. Award-winning, nationally accredited professional photographer right here in the North. Marc, in fact, won Best in Class Portrait Ontario in 2016. Check out his profiles and more at MarcDeRoche.com. And get your Halloween boo baskets now. They're selling fast at Sweet Freeze at 175 3rd Avenue. Baskets are selling and ready to go. You can pick pick up your baskets in the giant size for $50 or the smaller sizes for $25, and that's taxes in. Shop today, 175 3rd Avenue, or shop online, sweetfreeze.ca. Stop into Sparks Pizza today for one of their October specials. Try a French onion pizza and grab one of Sonny's brand new pumpkin pie milkshakes. Dine in at 206 3rd Avenue or have them delivered. You can order online, sparkspizza.ca. And Steinberg & Mann turns 105 this Saturday. Stop in and see the amazing anniversary specials with Darren Taylor and his family, located at 25 Wilson Avenue. And become a Schumacher Lions Club member today. They're looking for some new recruits this fall. If interested, they meet every Wednesday night at the Mac in the Lions Den. And get winter ready at Mikey's General Sales. Their Honda lineup has now arrived. Snow blowers, how about the Honda generator? Save up to $500 off select generators right now. Shop Mikey's General Sales, located 1301 Airport Road. And the storm surge hits the Igloo this Saturday and Sunday for back-to-back home games with your Iroquois Falls Storm. Saturday, 7:30 p.m. against the Sioux Eagles, and then on Sunday at 2, it's a matinee with the Hearst Lumberjacks. Tickets online at ifstormjra.com. Have Katrina and Albert seal your deal with Royal LePage or Northern Realty Leaders. Take a look at this showing, 263 Frontenac and more. Call today for a showing, 705-465-3493. And do you need to rent it? Then Gord's Rentals has it for you. Located 778 Riverside Drive, serving the residential, commercial, and industrial sectors for you. Let's protect your vehicle in the driveway with the Shine Shop Crown Timmins. Book your Crown appointments this week with Darren DeBan. Call now, 705-268-4855, or stop in and see them, 1300 Riverside Drive. And get a ticket for the NOE's Halloween Bashes, coming up Saturday, September the 26th, both of them at the Dante Club. The Kids Bash between 1 and 3, the Adults Bash 8 p.m. to 1 a.m., but they're selling quick. Tickets available now at Wicked Stuff and Elfie's in your downtown. When you need it shipped right, you need to put your trust into Robert Champagne at Timmins Courier Service. They ensure your package will arrive on time every time. Call now, 705-266-4285. Attawapiskat Catering is the full catering service for the De Beers Victor mine site, fully staffed and 100% operational by First Nations. October deals are on now at Matheson Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's worth the drive to Ron Parody and his sales team today. 349 Highway 11 in Matheson. Find the post and nominate a nonprofit for Love for Nonprofits. All winners win a free week of advertising on our show, all courtesy of our good friends at the Schumacher Lions Club and Sebastian Vermette Insurance and Financial Limited. And get a head start on that fall reno with Timmins Home Improvement Center. If they don't have it, then you don't need it. Call today. Visit their showroom located at 89 Wilson Avenue. And only 2 weeks left to get a float in for this year's Santa Claus Parade with your downtown Timmins BIA. Contact the BIA today by November the 1st to register, downtowntimmins.com. Do you need a trained security guard for your next event or function? Then call Martin Peel today at Pat's Canine Protection and Detection Services, 705-288-7435. And look at that, another one sold with Jessica Gervais from Royal LePage or Northern Realty Leaders. Your house could be next. Find your dream home today with Jessica Gervais at royallepage.ca. And she's the producer of Sportsman Channel Canada and Just Hunt Inc., Amanda Lynn Mayhew. And how about this for a treat at Timmins Hyundai? With the purchase of an in-stock Palisade, Santa Cruz, or an Ioniq 5, you'll get a free 55-inch TV free. Book your test drive now, 800 Riverside Drive. And Booster Business is back this week with your chance to win free advertising on our show. With a big thanks to Timmins Courier Service, Canadian Trade X, and Mikey's General Sales. Watch for this week's post to nominate. The first and only First Nations-owned security provider in Ontario is Advanced Security Protective Services, based right here in Timmins, 705-267-5547. For the best financial advice in the North, you contact Sebastian Vermette Insurance and Financial Limited. He's also your mutual fund specialist as well. Call today, 705-264-4395, or stop in and see him, 239 Wilson Avenue. And book your birthday parties with Midtown Bowl. Bowling, pizza, fun zone game cards, fun for everyone. And the best part is Midtown will clean the mess for you. Call today to book, 705-267-5547. 3500. And the Count Community Green Room is now open for you, connecting opportunities by uniting networks together with Mel and Mel. For more details, you can contact she'sconnected.ca and book your fall deep cleans now with DAP Cleaning Solutions. Residential commercial cleaning excellence guaranteed. Call Andrew N for your free quote, 705-465-3500. And all the teams have been picked with the PMHA. You can follow your little one's schedules, ice times, and more all over on the PMHA Facebook page. And Chow Sandwich Company are getting set to see you soon. Stay tuned for their grand opening details coming up the week of October 23rd at their new location at 177 3rd Avenue in your downtown. And test your knowledge with T-Fex Rock and Roll Bingo. Happens this Saturday night, 7 p.m. at the Mac Ballroom. Tickets are $40, which includes games, prizes, DJ, dancing, and more. Ticket details at timmonsfestivals.com. It's still time to sign up for Fall Dare classes with Dare Timmons. You can email daretimmons@gmail.com today to register. Watch for updates all year long with the Northeastern Catholic District School Board on our show. Every month we'll showcase interviews about events, programs, and student accomplishments and more. Details at ncdsb.on.ca. And discount days continue with Jackpot Time Timmons. Your chance to win double line prizes every single session. You could be the next winner at 251 First Avenue. And good luck to the Timmins Majors U18 squad this week as they hit the road to Ottawa for the Ottawa Senators Showcase Tournament. And the Timmins Film Society presents Monster, a masterclass in mystery. They want you to show up next Monday night, October 21st at 7 to watch a screening. You can find the details and tickets at imaginecinemas.com.
Are you ready for? Have you prepared for Halloween? Or are you going on the last minute gamut again?
I've got the costume still.
I mean, the costume from last year.
Yeah.
Are you refreshing your vibe?
I might refresh.
So you're not ready, but you might.
I am ready. I've got it ready to go. If something newer comes up between now and then, I'll swap last year's for this
something
year.
comes up. There's Halloween costumes everywhere. What do you, have you decorated around the house?
No,
or?
nothing yet. Nothing yet. We're gonna hollow the pumpkins out a couple weeks from now.
Couple weeks from now.
That's it. November 1st. Pumpkins will be hollowed out on the porch.
Wow. You should see. We're going to be hosting the Halloween party in my front lawn there. Halloween.
You were out there putting your stage together today.
Yes. So Teddy, anything Halloween comes through Teddy.
Yeah, Teddy Fosher from the NOE.
We have a 10 by this 10-foot cage, Halloween cage, that's going to act as the stage for the library, for the comedians, for Sonic, for myself and that. For
people throwing eggs at your comedy.
For throwing eggs at my comedy. Well, we got Courtney doing the comedy.
Oh, that's right. Well, they'll still throw eggs at you.
They'll throw eggs at me, but not at Courtney.
They'll save the eggs
Courtney
and clap
is amazing.
Her jokes and laugh.
So my yard is trick-or-treated out, by the way. And speaking of trick-or-treating there, Kinsman, before we get to the prize, Teddy went to go see the Terrifier 3.
And how was that?
Sunday. Well, first of all, it's the number one movie.
It was a $2 million budget.
Yeah.
What did it rake in? Almost $20 million.
Yes.
Weekend.
So if you go to the Terrifier and are mortified, then you know what the Terrifier is. He's the Terrifier. He's not the pleasant fire.
No.
Or the happy fire.
He makes Jason Voorhees look very
tame. This movie is just for people who love that outlandish gore, okay? So if you're into that, The Terrifier is your movie. They test the boundaries on everything, okay? Even children aren't safe in this movie, which is usually...
you can't be giving any teasers away.
Well,
spoilers.
That's people die is not...
people die in The Terrifier?
Yeah.
It's not, Don't go to The Terrifier, but here's the question. In the first scene, they say people got up and left. Was that just hype to get people to watch the movie?
I would say that the last scene is worse than the first scene, but the first scene has something very dramatic, where once again, you should not be at the Terrifier if this shocks you, right? If you're not into this, don't go see the Terrifier. It was a great movie. It's a lot of fun around Halloween. They have some spectacular set design and the makeup effects. So If you're
Even
looking
ta-
for a good break, then
That's the one to watch. You said the character that plays, or the person who plays the character, Art the Clown, said even he had hard times doing some of those scenes.
he had a hard time for the ending, which is something else. So thumbs up to the Terrifier if that's what you're into.
Well, they used to
number
chat
one
with
movie.
you. What happened to them?
What's that?
The guy from the Terrifier, didn't they?
No,
he
he
was
never-
in ties with you a long time ago.
Before the first Terrifier came out, yes.
But now that they're high and mighty, they've forgotten us.
Well, they've earned it, they really have. Like the first Terrifier was a pretty much fan budget made movie. And they're really doing horror like the way horror should be. So, and of course we had the comfy seats at Imagine Cinemas. And that was Teddy's second time seeing it on Sunday.
He's seen it twice.
Yeah.
So, there you
So
go. And
if
he
you
gives
had
it a
seen-
2 thumbs up.
Yeah. So go.
Go check it out.
Yeah.
Terrifier 3.
Right. I would recommend seeing this in the theater, and if you're into a good horror. And Smile 2, by the way, is coming out, which looks great, coming out this Friday. So now, my question to you, after all this time, did you watch All Hallows Eve?
We did.
You
We
did?
watched it. Yes,
You
we finally watched it.
Yeah,
Yes.
and?
Yeah. Well, it had us, scratching our head, going, "What the heck was that?" Wanting to dive in, maybe to the first one. Or you'd have to go to All Hallows Eve 2.
No, you
Or
can
do you just go right into the
you
Terrifier
can
from
skip
that one?
the All Hallows Eve and go right in the Terrifier 1. Right?
Yeah.
But set the tone for anyone who doesn't like horror, because the Terrifier is something else, okay? If anyone goes, well, blood makes me squirmish, or I don't like to see death, or I like to see happiness, then go past the Terrifier.
So All Hallows Eve, if that makes you squeamish, you don't want to move on to any of the others.
No, you definitely don't. You definitely don't, no.
Okay.
But great horror movie, and it's horror movie season, so absolutely love it. Okay. Big prize. Wheel of winning time.
2 Rockin' Bowls from Midtown Bowl. Big shout out to Nat over at the Alley. So someone's going to win this from the Wheel of Winning.
So Caleb's helping Ronnie out there. So we will get up the wheel and we will spin the wheel here, Kinsman.
And we'll find out who's going to win this. We'll throw this into their mailbox.
All right. Is it still spinning, Ronnie? All right, because we lost signal on our TV. So give us the winning name. Barry Goocher.
Barry Goocher.
All right,
You
congratulations,
guys got a horseshoe
Barry.
somewhere. Was it Barry or Brian? Both the Goochers.
Brian won comedy tickets.
Yeah, now Barry's going bowling.
Barry's going bowling.
So hopefully Brian took Barry to the comedy, and Barry can take Brian to a bowl.
Brotherly love.
Brotherly love there. So
Or
congrats.
go by yourself and bowl twice as much. What I would do. All right, that's it. Tomorrow night, Kinsman, we have TFEC on, because
it's going to be a TFECing good time.
Their rock and roll bingo is this Saturday. Tickets still available. That's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be part of that, hosting. But we're going to play some rock and roll bingo.
Yeah, so we'll tell you what it's all going to be about Saturday night. Get you lined up for your tickets. Again, $40 per ticket.
Yeah, there we go.
Lots of fun there. There's DJs, prizes. You're encouraged to wear your costumes. Lots of fun.
Yeah, and don't you be yelling out bingo before you get a bingo, because you learned that the hard way.
Premature
Jackpot
bingo
time.
calling is not allowed.
Jackpot
Even
time.
at rock and roll bingo.
They chased you out of there almost.
They did. I got shooed off. It was like,
Yeah,
get
shoot
the
off,
F
all
off
right.
my lawn. I got those kind of
Give you a
stares.
shoe on your head. All right, folks, that's it. Tomorrow night with TFEC. Good night.
Yes. Good night.
Fresh out the pit stop, the brand new hip hop. It's the new style, knit socks and flip flops. Single sunglass like a secondhand cyclops. Decorate your heels with the hashtag high top. I rock a party with the flavor of the old school. Nah, I'm enrolled in my own school. Calibrate the needle, let the wax spin. Accelerate the beat in your heart and let's begin. Emancipate yourself, find the way in. Throw down your crutches like you was Tiny Tim. Step back while I backflip, slip a flapjack in my lip quick. Knock, knock, when I was a kid watching the Knicks with the nickel sack in my short sock and in my lap sack and in my backpack. I rolled a backwood behind a bar, but now it's after dark. Do you know where your kids are? That was then, and this is now. And that was who, what, where, and when, but this is how. That was then, but this is now. And that was who, what, where, and when, but this is how. I stack records like pancakes. Syrup on the snare, butter on the brakes. Feed my fans like cattle, keep fatting them. Vinyl, silver, gold, and platinum. Every day, my every aim, same. Tighten the titanium in everybody's game. young caller, drop it in the hole from the back of the Impala. Empire City, keep it hot like masala. Fall so hard you can call me, never mind. Drop hits on the mic like Hicks in the dojo. Mofos, mafiosos that don't know mediocrity. Everything they do is so. Try me, I know so. They pay me to flow so, bro. If I may say so. So that was then, and this is now. But that was who, what, where, and when. But this is how. That was then, but this is now. And that was who, what, where, and when. But this is how. This is how. Every day's a struggle for every muggle in every way. Okay. I get it, you coined it. You're disappointed, your dreams disappearing all the time. Is it love or is it fearing? But you're a goonie and it's our time down here. Your time is nearing, but it's our time down here. That was then, but this is now. And if you don't know, well, let me show you how. Melly Mel, he kept from going under. But sometimes like Stevie, man, it makes me wonder if this jungle isn't really just a sandbox. A castle, a story, a bubble, or a mailbox. And if it is, will you write someone a letter? Draw a picture or apologize, whatever. You stickers and a glitter pen to make everything better. Thank your grandma and your grandpa for sending you that sweater. Hey, you may need to check the weather. It's cold out there. Take it from someone who knows. That was then, and when was that? But it never mattered who, it never mattered what. That was then, but this is now. That was who, what, where, and when. But this is how. That was then.